This is the plaintiff, Alicia Majay. She says she and the defendant used to date, and he owes her $5,000 for trips she paid for to Las Vegas and New York. He also owes her for rent, car insurance, and child support. And she's here suing him for every penny of the money he's trying to get out of paying her, but won't. This is the defendant, Joshua Howell. He says he owes this woman nothing. She paid for the trips when they were together. Now that he broke things off, she's coming after him for everything she can think of under the sun. Well, he's sorry she's bitter, but she needs to move on and leave him alone. He's accused of leaving a woman high and dry.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Alicia Majay, you're suing Joshua Howell for $5,000 in damages for different loans and things that you paid for him that you want him to reimburse you for, as you claim he was always supposed to. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
Joshua was not working at the time, so I had to help him at the time while we were dating.
Well, you didn't have to. You could have just dumped him. But,
yeah.
So you two started dating when?
Back in December of 2016.
2016. And were you living together?
Yes.
All right. So who was living in that place?
We were living together with me.
Just the two of you?
Just the two of us and my son.
And your son. How old
Yes.
is your son?
He's 21 months.
Okay. All right. 21 months. So is that his?
No.
Okay. When you met, were you pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. So what bill did you pay for him?
I paid his car insurance, his car notes. I helped to pay his child support.
And why were you doing all that?
He lost his job before we moved into the house. Only income that he had was from the VA because he's prior military.
What's going on? How did you lose your income?
Well, initially I got laid off from an HVAC company. They were letting go of close to 50% of their employees. I had my VA disability, which is about $2,000.
What's the nature of the disability?
Seizures.
Okay. Did she ever tell you that you had to pay this stuff back?
No, ma'am.
What happened between you two?
Well.
So you don't deny that she paid these things. You just say that was part of the arrangement between you and you weren't supposed to pay it back.
She never paid anything.
Oh, you do deny that she paid these things?
Right.
Okay. So how did you two break up?
Well, it got to the point where I wasn't agreeing with the way that she was bringing up her child. And
How so?
Because she was trying to keep him away from his actual father.
Okay.
And I did not agree with that because I was going through the same situation with my son.
According to you, why did you two break up?
We broke up because he was cheating, lying, and deceiving. I went through physical, mental, and
How'd you
just
find
all
out he was
kinds of
cheating?
abuse. Well, for one of the women that he cheated on me with stayed in our housing community.
And then what? She told you?
Well, her husband came down and said that Joshua better stay away from their house because he found messages of them talking and things of that nature.
Okay, so now are you both on the lease?
Yes.
And what ends up happening with that arrangement? When you two decide to break up, what was the plan about who was going to stay and who was going to go?
Before we broke up, we had re-signed a lease. I was unaware that we were splitting or anything like that. It was
How
random.
long before you broke up or caught him cheating did you sign a lease?
3 weeks after.
She catch you cheating 3 weeks after you guys re-sign a lease? How about not signing a lease? That would be a good idea.
None of that actually ever happened.
Did you cheat on her?
No, ma'am.
Did some guy in the neighborhood think you were cheating?
Well, the thing is me and his wife grew up together, and we were really close. We were best friends, actually. And I would continue talking to her, and he was the jealous type and got very
Why are
upset.
there all these texts between you and her where she's talking about how you hurt her?
I have no clue what she's talking about.
You're the one who hurt me. You don't know how much you hurt me. What has she heard about?
Because the thing is I told her that I had feelings for this girl still, but I wasn't doing anything inappropriate with this person
Cheating
because
in
she
his
was married.
mind. He sinned in his mind. So now, when you two break up, what's the plan on who's going to live in the apartment? Because you have a lease going.
I had this, we actually had a prior deal about that I was supposed to get the house and that she was going to get an apartment. And since her credit was well below average, that I was going to put my name on her apartment for about 5 to 6 months. That way that she can accumulate her credit up. And that way she'll have a place to stay for her and her son.
Okay.
I was told shortly after, whenever I talked to the landlord, that I was going to keep the house. He told me, he said that she was wanting to keep the house.
So did you talk to her?
I did talk to her, and we agreed on it. But
So
initially,
she changed what the agreement was, you're saying?
right,
And you agreed to let her change the agreement?
right.
Okay. So was there that agreement and then you changed your mind?
Yes,
Okay. So you decide to stay in the house, and it's how many bedrooms in that house?
is 3.
Okay. And one of the things you're suing for is you want him to pay rent from the time you guys broke up until today, $4,000, right?
Yes.
Because you decided to stay in a 3-bedroom place
I would have
instead of
never
mitigating your
signed-
damages and going to a smaller place.
I would have never re-signed the lease if we were splitting and that he
Right,
was
but
cheating.
he was going to take over the lease, so you wouldn't have had to worry about paying rent at that place at all. And he was going to put his name on another apartment for you that would be smaller and within your grasp, and instead you decided you wanted to stay in the 3-bedroom house.
Yes.
Right. All right. So now let's talk about all these other things. According to you, you paid for a Vegas trip. When was the Vegas trip?
In April.
And you guys broke up when?
We broke up in August.
Okay. And you paid $1,200 for a trip to New York. When did you take the New York trip?
We did not take the New York trip. I just lost out on money for that. I actually have text messages stating I kept texting him, asking him, "Are we still going?" I used money to book this. It was a bundle package deal, non-refundable, and he said that we were going to go, and then that's when he decided that we were splitting. And I just was left with the bill of that. He told me on a contract that we signed between the two of us that he was going to pay me.
Do you have any texts where he tells you that he's going to pay you?
I have text messages where I ask him, he doesn't respond.
Okay. You don't have any texts where he says he's going to pay you?
No, besides
All
the
right.
contract.
And now right. According to you, there's a promissory note where he says he's going to pay you. Show me the promissory note.
Thank you.
What, according to you, does this tell me? That he agreed to do what?
Each column has a list of things that we agreed on and how we were going to separate. There, it does say in one of the columns that he was going to pay me back for the trip.
Gas and food, passport, deposit for house. Must pay all of the above to Alicia 11/3/2018. Okay.
I do have a picture of where we had the passports.
Let me see the picture.
I bought both of them. He wanted to take a trip to Ireland spring break of next year, so I went ahead and paid to expedite it to get it as soon as possible.
You're
So
taking
we
an
just
awful lot
went-
of trips for a guy who's unemployed. What's that about? Okay. Tell me about this.
That is actually a forged document.
Is it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
You
I
did
have
not sign this.
I have no, ma'am, I did not. She forged my signature. I have the original pictures of the document that are actually timestamped for August 22nd, not August 12th. So how would I get a signature on August 12th?
What are the documents? What is the document you took a picture of?
It's a picture of the original document before things were
Okay, and
changed.
so the original document has you doing what?
It's actually none of that really that's on there.
Oh, you're right. And so what was this document supposed to be?
That was actually for whenever she was talking about she was wanting to move to an apartment. And I agreed because if you see at the bottom where it's been erased, that it says that I will put my name on her apartment for 5 to 6 months, and then I will take it off. And it was erased and put on that I agreed to the above signed date, August 12th, 2018.
Why did you erase stuff on this document? And why does he have a picture of this document with nobody signing it?
Yes. So we were sitting down and we redid it because of the simple fact that I was keeping the house, and we talked about how we were going to split everything.
It looks like a forgery when he's got a copy that has none of the signatures and none. See, the importance of the signatures is that you're arguing to me that he agreed to pay all this stuff on the left. It's not even in the original document he photographed. Why would he photograph it? Did you forge this?
No, I did not forge
Show
it.
me, you have a license on you?
I have my passport.
Give it to me. The famous passport. Show me your text with him.
Okay. Just swipe left. She can go over like that left. And then I have some text messages that are printed out, but the ones that are on
I gotta
the
say,
phone
it doesn't
are
even
not.
look like his signature.
The ones that are printed out are
Very
different from the
much.
ones on the phone. And swipe.
Oh, literally, pots and pans are on the list, even in the original one of what you're taking. I mean, I could definitely see differences in the handwriting. They're very slight. When did you guys break up? August what?
August 24th, I believe.
She was really trying to get you back. What was it that you weren't like, in other words, she's texting you nonstop in August.
Because there was an injunction against me.
There was some major blowout fight because what do you mean? She went out and got a restraining order
There's a different case that's going on also
between the two of you?
between the two of us.
About what?
She's claiming that I hit her, and there's pictures that prove absolutely nothing in that case also. But she went and got a restraining order against me because of it.
Were you trying to go to counseling?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you going to go to counseling for if it didn't happen?
I'm sorry.
What were you going to go to counseling for if it didn't happen?
Well, we were going because we were actually having rough patches. We were always arguing, and I went. She had requested me to go to counseling to see if we could make this work, and the counselor did what she had to do, and I just wasn't wanting to be in the relationship anymore.
At this point, was she already suspecting you were cheating on her, and had she already accused you of it? You say it wasn't true, but
She always has accused me. I mean, just like, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, she's not mentally all there, but I mean,
okay. So she says, you say, I'm moving out, I can't pay rent in 2 places. And she says, but that's what we agreed on, and you have been here, and your things are still here. So you're going to leave me with nothing, high and dry, and owe me $650 for your half of the trip. That's the New York trip. So why are you're suing him for the whole New York trip?
Yes.
Why?
Because we agreed on that. I told him that I was not wanting to
In
go.
your text, you're not even saying that. In your text, you're saying $650 for the half of the trip. I bought you a phone and a passport. The least you could do is pay this month's rent, which is 3 days, which is in 3 days. I've also paid your child support and car note multiple times, so let's be fair. And your answer to her is, let me get paid and figure out my finances first. No, what are you talking about? You never paid my car note? But rent is in 3 days, and I don't have it. You agreed to pay it. I said, let me get paid and figure my finances first. What day did you move out?
on the 18th
Of?
August. The
And
official
August rent was due when?
the 1st.
Yeah,
Who ended up paying August rent?
I did.
And it's $1,600, right? Okay. What is your explanation for why he has a photograph of this document without this bottom, with something else written here that was erased, and without this column here? What's
Because
your
we
explanation?
took that same contract, we erased it, we adjusted because of the simple fact that I decided to stay in the house.
But why would he also at that very same, in that very same breath, give you all of these other things? Why would he all of a sudden agree that he owes you an additional, owes for 5 months because of unemployed? Child support $500, car note $200, insurance $240, creditors $300, New York trip bundle $1,200, gas and food $2,000. Passport $250. Like, why would that change because you were going to stay there?
Right.
It doesn't make sense that he would all of a sudden agree to all these things. That's why I feel like you doctored this up.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, if he has feelings for another woman while he's still in a relationship, is he allowed to be friends with that other woman still if he acknowledges it?
Absolutely not.
Because?
Because you're just playing with fire at that point.
What do you say?
What do I say?
Yeah?
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Miranda writes there. What do you say?
I say whatever happens, happens, as long as somebody's honest.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
He decided to change his mind once he got arrested for getting abusive with me, which I have a video of him driving off in my car in the middle of the night while my baby is in the bed.
Let me see that.
break my, you're paying for it. Get my phone out. I got that on camera, so you know that's all on camera. Everything that you're doing.
Why the would you leave this thing unscrewed?
What are you videoing?
He hit my phone out my hand. Only got.
Yeah, why are you videoing?
He took off with my car. You haven't gotten to the second video. It's the same video, it's just split into two. He took off with my car in the middle of the night and told me to go fetch it while my child is in the house.
And actually, that is both of our car. My name is on the
No,
car.
it's not your vehicle. It's still my vehicle.
Co-signed.
Okay, all right. I have numerous concerns in this case. Obviously, I have a concern about the way that this purported promissory note comes to me, because I think that there's all kinds of stuff doctored up in there. I also have concerns about someone who looks me in the eye and tells me she didn't pay any of this, because after careful reading of the text between you two before anybody's on notice that there's going to be court and a judge reading your text, each time that she talks about stuff that she's paid for you, you don't say, what are you talking about? You never paid that, which is the natural thing for someone to respond. And it's not. Instead, what you're saying is, let me figure out my finances. So I know some of the stuff happened. So I know you're lying. And I know this isn't an agreement that he agreed to. So I know you're lying. So I'm left with trying to figure out what would be fair. At a minimum, I believe that you owe her August rent, because you were there in August and didn't pay. And I believe that you owe her 1 month's rent after that, because you're leaving her high and dry. However, that changes when you decide to stay there, because you've admitted to me that he said, look, I'll just take care of all the rent. You go get a cheaper place. But you decided to stay there. But I think you still owe the August one while you were still there. All right? But you wouldn't owe future rents, because you're the one who decided to stay with a 3-bedroom place that you don't need, all right? I think you might have done that in your misguided effort to hope that you guys would get back together again or something. I don't understand it. This man is toxic for you, okay? You get that, right?
Yeah, I'm
we're
completely over that.
we're past it. All right. I'm also going to order you to pay half of the New York trip. As for everything else, you know, this is where we talk about attempting to divide pots and pans, which you actually have on the list, pots and pans. So I'm going to order him to pay the $800 plus the $650 for a total verdict in your favor of $1,450. That is my verdict. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff is going to get some money, $1,450. You're going to have to give it to her.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
I mean, it sounds like it's a real messy ending.
Yeah, definitely. You live and you learn.
Are you learning?
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning.
All right. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Well, what do you think?
I think that it is what it is, and I've learned my lesson.
It was a messy breakup.
Yes, it was.
Really messy.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Harvey?
You know, Doug, when the judge is talking about dividing up pots and pans, really the point is judges are not going to do that, start figuring out every little item. The thing you need to do, and it may be a little uncomfortable, but it's important, is to establish the financial ground rules, when you enter a relationship. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.